Boone Meadow, Mrs. T here. Welcome back to the art room. So for today's enrichment activity, we are going to be making homemade watercolor. So let's get started. We're gonna set this up here. Sorry, my fancy cameraman ditched me. By fancy cameraman, I'm just kidding. I don't really have one. So to do this, I have here my first attempt at doing this. I know it seems kind of crazy because I'm like kind of flinging this around. But as you can see, I did this already, and I did my yellow, orange, red, green, blue, violet. I am well aware of the fact that the yellow looks very much like orange, that the orange looks like red, and the red looks very dark red, and the violet looks pretty much like black. But I assure you those are the colors that I created, and I have tested them, and all but the violet has turned out pretty well. The violet actually turned out to be more of like a brown, so we're gonna hopefully today get a better color mix. So let's talk about our materials. To do this project, you're going to need baking soda, white vinegar, cornstarch, you're going to need corn syrup, food coloring. I have the liquid food coloring, however you can use the gel, and to be honest, the gel food coloring is actually preferred because it tends to give a little bit of a richer color, but the liquid will work great too. That's what I use, and I got great color. So you need a tablespoon measuring, and you need a half a teaspoon. Those are the only two measuring tools that you need, a half a teaspoon and 1 tablespoon. You do need a spoon or something to stir with, and you need a spouted, meaning you can pour the content. So you need some type of spouted, for some reason my brain does not want to say that word, but you need a spouted bowl, glass, jar, something of that sort. I use a glass measuring cup. It does not have to be glass. That's just what I've been using. And then you need a tray that's going to hold these watercolors. I will say that the watercolors, although I haven't really attempted to remove these from this, they are intended to stay within the container that you create them in. So if you use a baking dish, make sure that you have permission, because the paint's going to stay in there for some time. These will probably last a very long time. So you can use a baking tray, like a cupcake baking tray. Another option is an ice cube tray, and you really only need 6 of the little holes, because we're only going to create our 3 primary colors, and then our 3, well, we don't create our 3 primary colors, but we're only going to make 3 primary colors and 3 secondary colors. If you want to start taking it further and making tertiary colors, you are more than welcome to, and in that case you would need those other chambers. Something else that you can use is an old egg carton. If you don't have either of these kind of trays, an old egg carton will work delightfully. So today we are going to use the ice cube tray. And what I have already done is I measured out my supplies, my materials. I've already measured those out just to save us some time. So for our first ingredient, we are going to add 4 tablespoons of baking soda. So our baking soda, you need your tablespoon measuring, and you need 4 of these filled, all right? So like I said, I've already pre-measured that, so this is already in here. And so you are going to mix the baking soda with the vinegar. Now, The vinegar is 2 tablespoons. So 2 tablespoons of your white vinegar. Here comes some fun. When you add vinegar to baking soda, I'm going to put this up closer to the video. Watch what happens. It's so much fun, it bubbles up. Now, we need to mix this. So this is where that spoon comes in handy. And we're just going to mix it around. If you have somebody helping you, your next step is a ½ teaspoon, so your smaller measuring tool, and you need your cornstarch. Now, this is like honey, it's thick, so you're gonna need to use your spoon to get all of that out. It's like a thick goop, if you will. We're gonna continue to stir. And now we are going to add in our cornstarch, which is 2 tablespoons. So back to that larger measuring tool, and you need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now you want to make sure that you keep moving with this, because as you are mixing and stirring, these ingredients are going to thicken. You want to try to work out all the lumps. It's not really hard to work out the lumps, but you also want to make sure you're scraping the sides of your container, because sometimes, especially with that corn syrup in here, it gets stuck. So you want to make sure you're getting it all. Your next step is to pour it into your tray, whichever it is, whether it's the cookie or the muffin dish, the egg carton, or in my case, the ice cube tray. I'm going to keep this spoon close because you're possibly going to need it to scrape. Now, spouted was important because now you're going to just pour into there. And I try to do just kind of a smaller amount until I get all 6 chambers filled. That way, you know, I know I'll have enough and I can always go back in and add more. But just a word to the wise, I know that in our classroom, we tend to use the blue paint an awful lot. You know, blue is a beautiful color. So you may want to consider making one of your little chambers a little bit fuller than the other. Just maybe make a little extra blue, because we seem to love blue. So I have all 6 of my chambers full. Now we have to drop in the color. So I'm going to start with my 3 primaries. If you're using the liquid, you want to attempt to put in at least 6 drops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 of my yellow, 6 of my red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 6 blue. Primary colors are blue, red, and yellow. Now, most of your food coloring kits are going to come with your 3 primaries and for some reason green. So we don't have to mix to make green. So now I'm going to add in my 6 drops for green. If you are using the gel food coloring, you just need kind of like a blob. It doesn't really give, you know, a guideline as far as like how much of the gel you need to use. So just kind of gauge it, but know that the gels are more rich in color and hue. So you don't need like 6 squishes. You just need like, you know, a decent line, I would say. All right, so we're not going to need our green anymore unless you're going to get really creative. But now we have to mix our colors in order to create our secondary colors. So we know to make orange, what two colors do we need? That's right, yellow and red. Now, the easiest way to do this, we know we need 6 drops of liquid, so I'm just going to split it in half. 3 and 3. So 3 of my red. And to be honest, red is very dominant, so I'm actually going to put 6 full drops of yellow in here just to make sure that we tone that red down. So I did 3 drops of red and 6 drops of yellow. Now, because I told you I've already done this and my violet was looking a little brown, I did equal parts of red and blue. So I think for this attempt, I'm gonna go a little bit more dominant with the blue. So I think I'm gonna do 5 blue drops and 3 red. And hope that that works out a little bit better this time. Now, the last step that you're gonna do is you need to stir and mix these. And I did forget to snag up some toothpicks, but that's what I use to do it. You could use a spoon. However, by using a spoon, you will have to clean it with each color. So I just grabbed some toothpicks. And now I'm just going to mix up each one of my chambers. Again, same thing with the measuring cup when you were mixing all your ingredients. You want to make sure that you're cleaning off the sides because that cornstarch, hey look, I got a green toothpick now. That cornstarch kind of sticks to the walls, even in these trays. So you want to make sure you're getting all that dried up cornstarch group together here. So I will say that my orange is looking very red, but it did the first time as well. I'm sure you guys just saw my daughter walk through there. I don't know if you saw her or not, but stay over there. So hopefully my violet will turn out. But after you get these all mixed up, you are just going to set it off to the side for 24 hours. So this time tomorrow, you can take a look at it and get to painting. And it's going to be just like any other type of watercolor where all you need is water and the paint itself. So have fun, don't stress, and we will talk soon. Bye guys!